Welcome to today's Prosperity Reset. Woo! I probably should set this up a bit better. How are you doing? It's such a pleasure to have you on board. As I've already said, feel free to say hello in the chat and tell me where you're streaming in from. I would really like to know. Try not to do the lurking thing. I know how easy it is to just kind of stay here lurking. But you know what? This is our time. This is your time to reset. This is your time to no longer just go back to the way you used to do things. This is you making a stand. This is you choosing very deliberately to draw a line in the sand and say, you know what has gone before is great. You know what, I've learned lessons, I've gained gifts and blah, 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 blah. However, I am now choosing very much to transition over to a new spot. I want more of a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched life. I am choosing prosperity. And to do that, the person that created the life that you're living right now, it's not possible. Okay, because if it was already possible, you wouldn't be here. So all the stuff that has happened to date has created this particular existence of yours, which is not all bad by any stretch of the imagination. Of course it's not. However, you're here because you want more. You're here because something isn't quite right in the way you're doing things and you want to change things. So be here, be very present, take advantage of everything that is on offer within the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering, and just this 14-day prosperity reset. Make sure, and at some point later on in proceedings, there will be an invitation to make a commitment to yourself, not to me, that you will actually do this whole 14 days. Yeah, because what I'm going to teach you here, it is very simple. Anyone can do it, but as easy as it is to do, it's also very easy not to do it. Okay, and the choice will always be yours. I wish there was a way I could get into everybody's head and come and make you do things and remind you to do things, and I do my best at reminding you. But when it comes down to it, this is your life. And we are powerful creators. We are powerful. We are one with the divine. We are powerful. So you are the one that chooses whether you're actually going to change your life or not. It isn't happening to you. It is you choosing. So yes, I could try and change everybody's life for them, but it won't actually get you anywhere. It's a decision you have to make within you. The fact that you're here, the fact that you signed up, that's a great start. But you have to make that decision within yourself that actually, I'm not just going to sign up. I'm not just going to do things just because Rosemary said so. I'm actually going to take advantage of everything that's on offer here, because let me tell you this right now. There's no mistake about you being here. The divine brought you here because you asked for support in some way, shape, or form. And so the divine brought you here, which at any point you could have just ignored it. At any point you could have just turned away, but you're here. And so this is another point of decision where, okay, I'm actually going to do this thing that Rosemary's talking about, basically. Not just because Rosemary's talking about it, but because you know you want change. And you are meant for change. You are meant for transformation. You are meant for greatness. All those ideas and dreams inside of you, they are yours to create for real. And this reset, if you allow it, it will literally be like pressing the factory reset on a device, but the device is us. Where you're very deliberately choosing to say, you know what, yeah, okay, I've done so much, I've done so far, but now I'm making a new decision to actually level up. Because yes, there is a practical stuff that needs to be done, absolutely, but most of you all know that if there's stuff going on in your mind and in your heart and all of that, it's really almost practically impossible to do the practical stuff and see a result. We all know people who have worked their socks off until they literally dropped dead and still had nothing to show for it. We do not want to be that person or those people. We are those who partner both the practical stuff with the spiritual stuff, knowing that it is the inner and outer work that will make all the difference, that will accelerate everything, okay? So anyway, I could keep talking about this stuff forever, but this whole 14-day thing, ultimately, the idea here is to help you break old patterns, to reconnect even more deeply with the divine, and to unlock a tangible breakthrough, because that's almost like a test of have you reset, is when you either get some kind of unexpected income coming in, okay, or something else. So you feel very, very, very consciously that something has shifted inside of you, or you see some kind of shift in your relationships or in your health, okay? So I want you to actually look out for that tangible breakthrough, because there will be one, and it will also be a little bit, okay, I don't want to get you into the process of looking for signs, But I do want you in this 14 days at the very most, because if for some of y'all, I will say towards the end that if you haven't felt as if there's some kind of tangible breakthrough, then continue with some of what we're doing, and I'll explain this later, through to 30 days, okay, until you feel as though something has shifted. Because what we are doing here, really, it is a very, to me, sometimes spiritual things can seem almost magical, almost, we don't understand how they work. And I'm not going to go into great detail about how things work here because I want to keep things as simple as possible. But I need you to understand that it isn't miraculous what we're doing here. It isn't some kind of magic that we're doing here. We are energetic beings, okay? So just because we don't completely always understand how that works, it's like we can switch on a light bulb. Most of us don't really understand how switching on a button on the wall suddenly it turns into light, basically, but we still use it. But it doesn't make it a magic or a miracle, although when it was created first, I imagine to a lot of people it was a magic or a miracle. And it's the same with what we're doing here. Sometimes when we can't put things into words and we can't use our logical mind to completely understand how this works and how that works, there's a tendency to think it's some kind of miraculous something, but it isn't. It's just that we don't understand completely how it works. So what we're doing here in this prosperity reset, what I'm trying to say is, it isn't magical. It is that you are learning to wield power that is available to you because you are ultimately one with the divine. There is power within you that created everything you see, touch, feel, everything around you. It was created by the same power that keeps your body running. You have access to that power. You just haven't learned how to wield it in a predictable manner. And this reset is starting you in that process of learning how to use your power to create the life that you want, okay? And if you choose to carry on with us into abundance, where, the abundance gathering, the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering, you will be invited at some point to join me in abundance. And to carry on this process beyond the 14 days, you start using the Deliberate Millionaire Daily Ritual and all of that stuff. The idea of it, everything I do within the group, all the teaching that I do every week, blah, 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 it is to help you learn to very deliberately wield your creative energy so that you're not just working your ass off. We in this community, we are so used to working our asses off. We are not lazy, though some of y'all might have convinced yourself that you are, but if some of you have been on the phone with me and you tell me you're lazy, it's like, okay, really? Let's actually look at all the things you've been doing. Are you actually lazy, or you just don't want to do certain things that people are trying to make you do? I'm telling you that you're lazy about because you don't want to do them when really you're not. We're not lazy in this community. Most of us work, in fact, all of us work hard or are willing to work hard when it's something that we're interested in, okay? We're willing to commit when it's something we're interested in. So it's not about, so what am I trying to say here? It's not, the problem has never been how hard you're willing to work. It's always been that you haven't learned to, because it's almost like it's been conditioned out of you. You forgot. You haven't remembered yet how to wield the creative divine ability within you to almost reshape energy to create what you want. And that's what abundance helps you do. That's what this whole work that I do is about, supporting you in partnering that practical stuff with the spiritual stuff, so that it's a very, very deliberately, very predictably, you create real world tangible results, because it is possible. I too am still on this journey. So it's not as if I'm some kind of expert staring at you. I just have been at this on this path for a bit longer. So there's things I've learned, there's things that the divine has taught me, there's things that I've demonstrated in my life that I'm trying to teach you to do as well. But it is you choosing to be here that makes all of the difference. So that is today. And that was somebody else, somebody that did this. Actually, because I used to do this 14-day prosperity thing as a 7-day thing. And actually in 7 days, she had all of these experiences as a result of doing exactly what I'm going to teach you. I'm not sure how much of that you can see. I keep intending to try and type this out so that you can see it better. But especially if you're on your phone, the chances are you won't be able to see what I'm showing you at all. But that's an example of the kind of things that I'm wanting you to watch out for in this 14 days together. Okay. So where are we at here? Let's carry on. So yeah, be very present here. Let there be no distractions. Be here in the room. Be listening to what I'm saying. Try to switch everything else off, because it's not even just what I'm saying. It's also what the divine is trying to get through to you. Okay. Because in you being here, the divine will also be trying to speak through to you. So have your notebook to hand. And when something inspires you, when something bubbles up inside of you, make a note of it. Some of y'all are well versed at knowing that if you do not capture an idea, as soon as it comes through, it just disappears into the other. So as soon as you get any kind of inspiration, any kind of something, write it down, note it down, notice it, so it's not so, yeah, be here. Do not be distracted. Be very present here. This is for you. You are that person who has, you're meant for more. You're destined for what I would call greatness. Okay. And maybe it's not necessarily something that you would say out loud. And in fact, over the years, there's a part of you that has started to think, maybe I'm not, because you've been trying and struggling and blah, 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 not quite getting where you want to go. But I'm here to remind you that actually, yes, you are. Okay. Yes, you are. Those visions, those dreams, those ideas inside of you, they are yours to create. Okay. You just kind of been taking the scenic route to get to where you want to go. And we want to get you back on the more direct route where possible. Okay. So maybe you feel a little bit stuck. You're wondering what's getting in the way, all of that stuff. You know what? We can start to heal all of that after this 14 days. For these 14 days, allow the process, the 7 steps that I'm going to share with you, to start that healing process within you anyway, okay? Because it will. Ultimately, wherever you're feeling stuck, it's just because it's almost like there's a clump of energy all tangled up and crazy. But as you allow love energy to flow through that, it will detangle. And sometimes even without you having to very consciously do anything, except the simple things that I do ask you to do. Okay. So please, 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 please make sure that as you're here, and keep things simple. That's actually one of the things that I'm going to say later on, but keep things simple. We'll come back to that in a moment. But I'm Rosemary Nonny Knight. For some of y'all, you're very new to the community. Welcome. I'm a weird blend of African and English. So I was born in the UK, went back to Nigeria, and then came back again when I was 17. And I've been living in the UK since I was 17. But the thing about living in Nigeria for such a long time is that it kind of exposed me to a whole lot of different culture, different ideas of poverty and what poverty really is. Okay. Because when you see people who literally, there's 12 of them in one room and they don't really have enough to eat, then that's very different from, oh, the government is giving me a little bit of something. And I don't want to belittle, because poverty, for when you're experiencing financial restriction, it doesn't matter the extent of it. It doesn't matter when you're experiencing any kind of struggle. It doesn't matter what the extent of it is. So I'm not here to compare anything, but what I'm trying to say is that I just have a different view of things, and I can see things differently from what you're used to. So, which is why when people come on the phone with me, anyway, everybody generally tends to leave with some kind of insight, some kind of different way of looking at things, because I see things differently, as well as, I'm hearing the divine and all of that. And I've been practicing all of this stuff since I was about 6, 7, 8 years old, ultimately. So I've been spiritual. I've been deepening my connection to the divine for that long. Although it took me until, when was it, 2005, to really, truly know that I was hearing back from the divine and practicing how to do that, because I'm quite left-brained. Okay, I was trained to be a pharmacist. I was trained in the whole science and all of that stuff. So I was never one of those spiritual people that just feels things and is all, oh, I feel, I know that I know that I know. I didn't know. Someone had to break it down into steps, which is why that's how I teach. I tend to break things down into steps so that people can very clearly follow along in this, because that was the only way that made sense to me. People, if someone is a bit more touchy-feely and a bit more right-brained, then you are someone that can sense energy, and if you are a church, you're the kind of person that will fall on the ground under the spirit. I was never that person. Okay. So the things that I teach you here are usually very, very simple and very do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, which doesn't mean that at some point because I think we all need to be balanced, not so left brain that you can't experience the right brain, and you don't want to be so right brain that you can't experience the left brain. We want to be somewhere in the center. And so the longer you stick around with doing the Deliberate Millionaire stuff, the more balanced you will be. The same as I too have gotten more balanced. I can start to feel more things now. I am more whatever, and you too will start to realize whichever extreme you might be on right now, you'll start to come back into the middle somewhere. Okay. But anyway, I used to be someone who I blamed everybody for my life. I was very passive, just kind of going through life. My parents made me into being a pharmacist. My parents did this, my parents did the other, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? Yes, there's childhood stuff that needs to be healed in most of us, but I was very passive, even when I became a grown-up, and a lot of people are. It was the divine bringing to my attention that, Rosemary, you're being a bit victim-y, and victims really don't win. So it's time to wake up. And well, it took bankruptcy as well. So bankruptcy, 4 years of depression, my three amazing daughters, and the whispers from the divine all together finally started to wake me up to the fact that I am the authority in my life. So get up and actually go after what it is that you desire instead of whining about, oh, my parents did this. Which again, I had to do some healing. Absolutely, definitely. So I do not diminish the need for healing, but I do say we must remember that we are powerful. We are powerful. Whatever has happened in the past is in the past. It doesn't have to continue to control you forever. Okay, we just need to get conscious of it, and sometimes that's the problem for you. So you're not always aware of what is going on because you're in this box and you've lived there so long that you do not realize that there's a whole vast different way of looking at things, because the way you see things is usually the way everybody around you sees things, and so you think it's the only way to see things. And that definitely was me for a while, until I started to open up to seeing things differently. So it was, yeah, at the bottom of bankruptcy, 4 years of depression, which I call the blank, because I literally, I just felt dead inside. The day after I went bankrupt, I felt dead inside. With hindsight, I could see that, well, one, I could see that I was depressed, and I actually even went to the doctor and was considering putting myself on drugs or something, because everything inside of me it was like, I woke up in the morning, 7 months pregnant with my first child, and my emotions had just shut off. As in, it's as if a light switch had been flicked inside of me that switched me to dead. So which is why I call it the blank, because for that 4 year period, it was as if I couldn't feel at all. I've always been super excitable and blah, 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 blah. And then it was just like, nothing. With hindsight, I realized I just felt like such a failure that the only way I could cope was to shut everything down. Okay. And so for that 4 year period, that's how I felt until, yes, I realized 4 years later that I was having a conversation with a family member who wanted me to give money. And this time I was saying no. For once in my life, I was saying no. I just can't do it, because I hadn't told anybody I'd gone bankrupt because I was too ashamed of it. But I just was saying no for a change, as opposed to continually saying yes, because I thought I was blessed to be blessed and I should share my money all around everywhere, until I finally got to the bottom of bankruptcy and realized maybe I didn't have as much money as I thought. But anyway, it was in having this conversation when somebody yelling down the phone at me, and I suddenly realized this is not supposed to be my life. This is not supposed to be my freaking life. Basically, how am I allowing this to happen? And that's when I started to wake up. And as I was at the bottom anyway, it was like, well, I obviously do not enjoy being a pharmacist. So what else would I like to do instead? I'm here and I want to home educate my kids. What can I do instead? And so that's when I started to wake up, started to actually listen to what the divine had been trying to tell me for ages. And then I made my transition into becoming a property person, so real estate person. And I did, within 18 months, build that up to a multi-six-figure thing, bearing in mind I had no credit, no money, no. So when you wake up properly, you get resourceful. Basically, you get very resourceful about how you're going to go about doing things. And so I did. And yeah, 18 months. But then after working with a coach at that 18-month point, and things had also come to a ceiling. And he was asking, what do I really want to do? Because he could see that I didn't actually really love this whole property thing. But for me, it felt practical. Just like pharmacy was practical, the real estate thing was practical as well. It was like, well, it's a practical business. People will always need housing, so let's do it, which had nothing to do with what am I passionate about. I'd always known I want to do things like this and coach and all of that, but I just didn't think it was practical for me. I thought I had to wait until I was at least 52, maybe 72, more life experience, then I'll be able to do it. Okay. And you can use the chat box at any point if anything I'm saying is actually resonating with you, because I'd love to hear what you're thinking. But anyway, so long story short, he said, why don't you just become a coach now rather than waiting until some distant time in the future, basically. And so I was like, can I? Okay, well, I'll give it a go. And so I started transitioning into coaching. I started as a business coach because, again, that felt practical. But then I wasn't speaking about my spirituality at all, which one of my coaches was like, then you're lying to everyone, because you know that the only reason why you've done most of this stuff is because your connection to the divine, and yet you're not mentioning it to anybody. So you're just telling them about the practical side of things, when you know it's never been just the practical side of things ever. So it was with courage, with time, with surrendering to my purpose. And I'm not going to pretend it was the easiest journey at all. All the things you fear, yes. I fear them too. I still sometimes do as well, because I have a big vision of, reaching 334,000, and I'm just scratching the surface of that right now, basically. But I know that's what I'm called to. Now I have a heck of a lot more courage, and I have a heck of a lot more sticking power now, because I have a lot or built up a lot more faith. What I'm trying to help you guys do is build that up as well, because I'm not promising. And if you were in the group, some of you have not been in the group until today, but I did you should listen to the live stream I did on Wednesday. So when you go back into the group, you can listen to that. And I talked about the fact that just because we're spiritual doesn't mean that there's never going to be any challenge, but how we handle that challenge is the thing that makes the difference. Okay. And so for me too, I'm not somebody that wants to ever promise people that, oh, you're going to flick a button and everything is going to be fine. But I do also know that you will start to manifest or create things easier when you partner both the inside and the outside, which is also what I've learned. And that's why I'm faster at manifesting things. Doesn't mean I don't feel doubt and fear sometimes. It's just I've learned to stay in the tension of it, lean into the divine, and know that everything is going to work out. And it always does. That's the crazy thing, unless I've taken myself off path. I've just learned to stop taking myself off path. And that's what I want to help you do as well, to help you see that actually, even though it may not look like anything is changing, things are always changing, especially when you keep what you desire top of mind. When you keep that, and some of the things I teach you will help you to do that. But for this 14 days, again, please just focus on the things that I ask you to do in the 14 days. If you stick around in abundance, I will also help you with getting focused and staying focused on the things that you create or that you want. And you can ask any questions and blah, blah, blah. And I like to train people and just support people in staying on your purpose path. And purpose is more than just the work that we do, okay? It's your relationships, it's your health, it's all of it. It's our whole life. There is a purpose, there is a path for you, and you can find it and you can live on it. And I am on my purpose path, and I would love you to come and join me on yours. Okay, so anyway, ex-pharmacist, got myself out of pharmacy in 18 months, blah, 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 build business, blah, 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 and here we are. Okay, so that's the long and short of the story, ultimately. So I need you to know this. Life is meant to be simple. Life is meant to be simple. Life is supposed to be easy as well, okay? And I know sometimes it can feel like that's not true. And I remember the first time the divine said to me, everything is supposed to work easily, simply, and quickly. And I thought, I said to the divine, if you were a physical being here right now, I probably would have slapped you upside the head for saying that, because it doesn't feel like that at all. And it's like, that's only because you keep taking yourself off path. In fact, I had a dream of, I don't know how long ago it was now, of if I can describe the dream here, but there was a swamp with a crocodile in it. And I was on a bus that could have been moving and going towards my destination, but I kept jumping off the bus and jumping into the swamp, thinking that I was taking a shortcut, basically. So I jump out of the bus and I jump into the swamp with the crocodile. The crocodile would chase me and never quite catch me. And so I'd run back on the hill, jump on the bus again, and think, oh, thank God I escaped that. And then the bus would go a little bit and I'd jump out again thinking, oh, that's another shortcut. Let's try that. And then I'd jump back into the swamp again with a crocodile in it. And I kept doing that until I woke up. And all the while, every time I got back on the bus, I would know, if you just stayed on the bus, Rosemary, we could get to our destination a heck of a lot quicker. But you keep taking these detours that you think are a shortcut, but they're not. And that was the divine's way of getting through to me, to say, stay on the bus. And I'm saying that to you. Some of y'all, that's exactly what you need to hear today. Stay on the bus. Sometimes you keep jumping off the bus thinking it's not going quick enough, or you're not doing something, and you make your life complicated and then wonder why it's complicated. We do this to ourselves. If we just stayed focused on where it is that we're going, the destination, and just kept moving towards the destination, we would get there a heck of a lot quicker. And I used to say to people, because I'm into Twilight and vampires and all of that. And I said, we don't have the time of a vampire. We're not going to be here for centuries, okay? So if we want to reach ourselves, stay on the freaking bus so that we can actually get there in our lifetime. Now, I do believe everybody gets to live their vision in their lifetime. Don't make no mistake about it. Thankfully, where there's grace. Make as many mistakes as you want within reason, because at some point the time runs out. But your vision is meant to be created in this lifetime if you will allow it. Okay. Again, life is supposed to be simple. Life is supposed to be easy. And actually, things are supposed to happen quite quickly if you stay on track. Prosperity is your divine right. The problem is, oh, we forget. We forget the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past. They caused us to create unnecessary difficulties for ourselves. And then you think you have no choice. And so then you keep creating the same, you keep repeating the same disempowering patterns, and then thinking to yourself, but I can't do it any different. Yes, you can. You're the only one that can. Okay, you're the only one with all of the choices. You can, in fact, rise victorious. So please, in this 14 days, for these 14 days, do not go all human on me. I love our humanity, but really humanity as well. Our humanity can make you complicate things. You keep jumping off that bus into the crocodile swamp, basically. Enough. What the 7 things I ask you to do here? Please just do the 7 things, nothing else. I know that some of y'all have been reading about law of attraction and whatever, and you've done all the personal growth and development and all of this. Great, but whilst you're doing this 14-day thing, whilst you're here, be here, not everywhere else, not spreading yourself here, then everywhere. Oh, that looks exciting. Let me try that. Let me try that. Oh, that must be a shortcut. No, stay for at least these 14 days. Now, I can't say this, however, that remember, you've had decades to get here. Yes, you're going to have 14 days where you're pressing the reset button and everything has the opportunity to change. However, if you do the 14 days, okay, get some kind of wonderful, tangible breakthrough, maybe some unexpected income comes in and it's like, woo! But then you go back and start living exactly the way you used to, not doing any of the rituals, not doing anything, then guess what? The decades of living in a certain way will continue to have most of the say in your life. So please, this is also why I say to you, and I say very boldly, when I invite you to stay in abundance, stay, okay? I've priced it in such a way that, frankly, it is it is absolutely accessible to anyone who is really serious about this, because I know it's going to take more than 14 days for permanent change to come in, because again, you have decades of living in a certain way that you're almost like fighting against, decades of programming, which you are now trying to reprogram yourself, put in new habits. So it's going to take you some time. In fact, you know what? When you're invited to abundance, you'll see that there's like the year-long version, because I do think that give yourself a year to change your life. Because the year is going to go by anyway. How many times have you come to the beginning of a year thinking I'm definitely going to do different this year, and then you get to the next year and you haven't? Simply because so I'm saying to you here, yes, yeah, it could sound like I'm just trying to sell stuff. I don't care. I will be very bold in saying, when I invite you to abundance, unless you've already joined, in which case, well done you. When I invite you to abundance, make sure you join. Make sure you join for your own sake. It's not for mine. It's for your own sake. Okay, I will just continue to live. I'll keep working with my private clients, blah blah blah, whatever. So, whether you join or don't join doesn't actually make that much of a difference to me, especially the way I've priced it. But it will make a huge difference to you. There is, again, I will say it, there is no mistake about you being here listening to me right now. There's no mistake about you listening here right now. It's because you asked for support that the divine has put you here, and you've said yes so far. Continue to say yes to your own transformation. Stop jumping around. Be consistent. Okay, this is another example of somebody who let me share my screen with you here. Just somebody that got unexpected refund just by doing it. As I said, it started as a 7-day thing, and then I wanted to give people a bit more time, so I went up to 14 days. Okay, so this is someone that did the 7 days thing, and it shifts things inside of you, which when they shift inside of you, because the physical reality is a reflection of what's going on inside of you, okay, you will see some kind of tangible breakthrough in the physical reality if you will stay consistent. So there are 3 areas particularly that I would love you to make sure you're paying attention to in these 14 days, okay? One of them is your words, okay? And I will explain that more in the 7 steps. But your words, what you're writing, what you're speaking has power, and will continue to grow in power the more you practice these simple things that I teach you to do. You will become more and more powerful. You will see that your manifestations come to pass a heck of a lot quicker. So we need to make sure that we're not using our words against ourselves, okay? So whether you're writing, what you're speaking, and what you're thinking, okay? Now, please don't punish yourself. Don't beat yourself up if, oh my God, you find yourself going over stuff. Although in our 7 steps, you'll see that I'll give you something to help you not focus just on the crazy and start to actually shift your way of thinking, but we'll come to that soon. So no beating yourself up. Make sure that you have grace towards yourself, okay? You're not going to get it perfect immediately. You are overcoming years, decades of living in a certain way. So yes, I say these things to you, but be kind to yourself as well. Okay. So your words, your what you write, what you speak has power. So start to be more deliberate about how you use your words. Your imagination is a superpower. I cannot even begin. To me, what happens in your imagination is it's almost like you are seeing the divine realm and you're creating things, and then they are being manifest in the physical. Okay. And that's how everything begins. This computer I'm doing this call on, it started in someone's imagination, someone's mind, someone thought it up, someone pictured it, and then little by little took the next obvious step to create it until what was in this person's mind became very physical. And that's exactly how we create anything. Okay. So your imagination is a superpower. Start to use it in your benefit. Most people just use it to worry. Okay. They just use it to worry and to go over, I should have said this, should not have said that. Oh, look at what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Enough. We need to become deliberate millionaires, deliberate people that live life deliberately, including what we allow within our imaginations. Okay. And our feelings, which generally tend to follow what you're thinking and imagining. But still, you have authority over your feelings. And your feelings do add power to the pictures that you're picturing and imagining in your head. Okay. So those three areas, your words, your imagination, your feelings, just start to become more aware of them. Start to be aware of what's coming out of your mouth, what you're writing down, what you're picturing, and how you're feeling. Because all of this adds together to help you become the powerful and hopefully very deliberate creator in your own life. Okay. So think about that. Oh, well, don't think too much, but just be aware of that. Okay. All of this is going to take practice. So be kind to yourself. Again, be kind to yourself. You are learning something new or reminding yourself of something you may have known before, but you're now coming back to it. Please be kind to yourself. Don't expect yourself to be perfect immediately. I know that some of your circumstances might feel quite desperate and you think, oh, I need everything to change right now. That desperation never really works. So, and again, the time will pass anyway. So yes, you can jump around to some instant gratification thing. Oh, yes, that person said if I did this in 3 seconds, everything is going to be fine. You'll be back. Because it never works in 3 seconds. It feels like it might, and then nothing happens, which is why I'm very honest and clear with you. Give this time 14 days to have some kind of tangible breakthrough. Okay, with maximum 30 days. But then if you go back to living the old way, you keep getting what you used to get. Okay, so I'm going to be very clear about this with you. This is a lifestyle change. Being a deliberate millionaire is a lifestyle choice. Like there are certain things that you do that will be explained to you after you've done the 14 days. For right now, the start of being a deliberate millionaire is just to do the 14 days and to do it with focus. Okay. But remember as well, there's no successive moments. So we live we live in the physical reality where we've decided that time and space are a thing. But actually, we're eternal beings, and time and space is not a thing. There's an eternal now. Okay, but because we live in time and space, we think, okay, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and it does feel that way when something happens and there's a consequence and blah 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 blah. However, I want you to understand that even if you make a mistake or you kind of drop off the 14-day wagon before the 14 days is up, no beating yourself up. Again, I've said this already, but be kind to yourself, please. Some of y'all are way too hard on yourselves. Be kind to yourself, and you should know by now that actually you can't punish yourself into a better life. So you're better off actually gently guiding and loving yourself into a better life, because that works so much better. Okay, but we've been trained to think that unless there's some kind of punishment involved, that we will not prosper. It's not true, and we've proved that it's not true. It gets you so far, but when you want to go to your next level, it just stops working. So it is love. It is love. That's why self-love is so important. It's loving yourself and recognizing, yeah, you're human, you're going to make mistakes, so what? And then you get yourself back on the horse. So if for whatever reason during this 14 days, you forget, which your subconscious mind will try to forget, okay? Because it's trying to keep you safe. And safe means let nothing change in my life. Let nothing change. The devil I know is so much better than any devil I'm not sure of. At least that's what your subconscious mind. And some of what we do here is to kind of help the subconscious mind stay calm. And the first 2 steps will help with that. But understand that you might forget, because the subconscious mind is trying to keep you in your little box. Your box feels safe, but it's not really. Okay. don't beat yourself up. If you notice that you've forgotten, just start from day one. Just start from day one. That's all. Just go back, start from day one, and go all the way till you do 14 days consistently. Okay. Please just do that. Yeah. There are no successive moments for sure. So you don't need to beat yourself up about it, but this is how you simply just reset, reset, reset. Okay. Okay. Before I go into the 7 steps, I do want to share with you the say hello, say hello. I see that a few more people have joined us. The 5 what I call foundational deliberate millionaire beliefs. 1, I am the authority in my life. Okay. I am the authority in my life. You will get some of this over email over the sometime during the 14-day thing. I talk about these, and there's a whole big blog post about it, just explaining what they all mean. But I need you to understand, okay, that you are the authority in your life. I used to believe that, well, I still do, that the foundation, the biggest, the most important foundation is our connection to the divine, which it is. It is very, very critical, this connection to the divine. It isn't a religious thing. It is simply, it's pragmatic. It's if you want to live to the fullness of your potential, you need access to your source. Okay. As human beings, we're like electric cars. You are meant to be plugged in. You're meant to be plugged in order to function and work and all of that stuff. And when you're not, you run out of steam. Okay. So our connection to divine is absolutely critical. However, what to me is even more critical than that in some ways is your choice. You realizing that you are the one that is choosing, deciding how your life plays out, that you are the authority in your life, regardless of what you may have been taught by religion, by whatever. It is you that ultimately decides how your life is going to play out. Okay. Nothing is happening to you. Okay. Even if there's all kinds of chaos happening in the world, like COVID or whatever things are happening, the choices you make are the things that determine, and the vision you keep as well. Okay. Because the vision you keep will determine the choices you make. Because if you have a vision of everything is falling apart, the chances are you'll take actions that try to keep you safe from everything falling apart, which are very different from actions that will take you towards a vision. Okay. So sometimes they may look exactly the same, but because you come with the energy of trying to keep yourself safe, you'll get that, but you won't get much else. And I say this just so you understand that you are the authority in your life. The divine has given you free will. You get to choose what happens next. Nothing can appear in your future without your permission, whether you're passively giving that permission or deliberately doing so. And part of being a deliberate millionaire is that you deliberately decide how your life is going to play out. The 14-day thing will start to help you do that. Okay. And I know some almost feel like, but I don't have authority over everything. No, I'm not saying you have control over everything, but I am saying that regardless of what is happening in the physical reality, you can still be moving in the direction of your vision. Always. The choice will always be yours. You are the authority in your life, and the divine will never force you to prosper. The divine will not force you to suffer. It's really you choosing based on what you believe is true, which is why shifting what we believe to be true when it's no longer helping you is critical. And as you stick around in the DM and I do my teachings every Wednesday, blah, 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 you'll start to realize that some of the ways that you've been seeing things are not helpful. But anyway, carrying on. This is only supposed to be a 45-minute thing, but usually it takes way longer than that. Carrying on. I am one with the divine, and therefore I'm powerful and limitless. Yes, as I said, connected to your source, you are powerful, you are limitless. There's power within you that created everything. You have access to it. You just need to learn how to use it. And your purpose here on planet Earth is to enjoy your life here on planet Earth. And people ask me about their purpose. What do you want? That is going to be your purpose. What do you want in your relationships? What do you want in your health? What do you want in your job? What do you want in your bank balance? That is your purpose. Your desires are divine guidance. Your desires are divine guidance. You just need to actually believe that and start giving yourself what you want rather than waiting for a sign from the heavens telling you what your purpose is. You already know your purpose. You just haven't given yourself permission to actually create it because you think something else has a say. But it's you. Again, you are the authority in your life. I can leave behind the pain and limiting beliefs of the past and rise victorious in my true design. So your personality is not fixed. What has gone before does not have to keep determining what goes after. You can heal. You can shift things. You can clear the channel for good things to come. or you can keep telling yourself that you don't want to. Again, you're the authority in your life, okay? But you can rise victorious in your true design. You can live a life of purpose. You can live luxuriously in your purpose if you choose to, okay? Okay. And the final thing is you create your own reality, okay? These are foundational beliefs. Now, to begin with, maybe they'll sound a little bit weird, or for most of y'all, I don't think they will. I think actually you've always kind of known it. You just haven't always known how to put it into play. That's what being a deliberate millionaire is about. Learning to wield the power that is yours, okay? Not as some kind of, I don't know. No, it's just, anyway, as I said earlier, just because you don't understand how something works doesn't actually mean it doesn't work. Okay. Okay. So, so those are some of the stuff. Now, let us start with the 7 simple actions. This is a point where your notebook needs to come out. Bring that wonderful notebook out. If you do not have one to hand, very quickly go pick one up. I'd love to you to have it with you, have it next to you. Okay. Because our very first action is, actually, I need to share the screen again. Very first action is this affirmation. So please write this down. And as soon as you've written it down, please say yes in the chat. All you lurkers, come on. I want to hear from some of y'all. Basically, I can see you. I'm not sure why you're hiding. It's almost like the child that if you just hide your eyes, then maybe nobody will see me. I can see you. Well, I can't see you, but I can see the numbers of people that I hear and how many I've actually heard from. So, or the one person I've heard from, but there's more of you here. So come on, show yourself. Write this down. This is your first of the 7 steps. First, simple step for you to take up on. Please write this down. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. I easily accept, where am I? New prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Please write that down. As soon as you've written it down, please tell me. Just say yes in the comments. I easily accept. You're in the meeting. Excellent. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity. Yay, yes. Excellent. Has everybody written it? I hope so. So I'm going to go with that, yes. So that's the first thing. Then the next, from that, you're going to write this down 25 times. I know it's long. I like to write in small print, basically. So it takes about 25 lines in my A4 notebook, I must admit. And so, yes, you write that down 25 times from day 1 to day 4. Just a very quick explanation is that we are trying to, as I said earlier, the subconscious mind is generally tending to try and keep you safe. And safe sometimes means don't change anything. So this affirmation, instead of saying, I am rich, I am this, I am the other, which your subconscious mind immediately will say, no, you're not. And I should keep you safe from that, basically. Instead of saying this, it's easy for your subconscious mind to, because of course we want to accept new prosperity thoughts. It's like, yeah, of course I am. And I am willing to increase my capacity for prosperity. So it's kind of a gentle way of opening up to receiving more prosperity, okay? So that's why we use this specific affirmation. So please write that down. It will come on a checklist as well, but I do want you to write it down even now. You can even whisper it under your breath as you're writing it down. But yeah, 25 times, day 1 to 4. Just day 1 to 4, you use that one. Our second action, please write this one down as well. I accept prosperity as my divine right. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Please write that down as well. I accept prosperity as my divine right. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Please write that down. That will be awesome. Okay. Again, you can say yes in the comments when you've written that one down. It's a bit shorter, so, I accept prosperity as my divine right. Yay. Excellent. I accept prosperity as my divine right. This is to be used from day 5 to day 14. From day 5 to day 14. Okay. So you'll use this second affirmation. I accept prosperity as my divine right. You'll write it down 25 times as well. Okay. From day 5 to day 14. Okay, so those are the first two steps, which is really just one step. Okay, the first two steps from day 1 to 4, we use the first one. Day 5 to 14, we use the second one. And if for whatever reason, as I've said already, for whatever reason you haven't received a tangible breakthrough, but please completely expect one. And then you carry on with the second one all the way through. You just keep going until you feel as if you've received some kind of tangible breakthrough. Okay, so that's an example of somebody that went through this process, as I said, as a 7-day thing, and they received £300. I mean, the first time I did it, within the first 4 days, I'd received 1,800 from, it was the tax rebate that I was not expecting at all. I hadn't even known that, that it was there waiting. And I also got £300 in an envelope in my house, which to this day, I have no idea where that money came from. But my daughter just found it in her bedroom, £300. She has no idea. Well, she was only like, she was only 10 or 8 or something when she found it and brought it to me. And I was like, oh, where did this come from? No idea. No idea. To this day, I have no idea. But it was, the £300 was found in my house, and nobody's ever requested it back or anything. So that was really strange and weird, but it was found. And that was it, £300 received. This person received that, but those are my examples. But I expect this kind of thing to happen to you as well. Okay, that you will either, have people paying for stuff or sending you money, or as I say, something in your health or something in relationships, something tangible will change in this time, because it will give you an indication that you are in the process of changing things. But again, please don't go back to doing things the old way. Because it's like you've started something now. Keep it going. Okay. Anyway, the third action is that instead of indulging, oh, is this going to work for me? I don't know. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Oh, blah, 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 blah. You start saying to yourself, free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. And as a bonus, you can add wealth, success, wealth, success. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Wealth, success, wealth, success. Yeah, I used to make a whole song out of that or a whole chant out of it. And just mumble it all the way through the day as frequently as you remember. Understand that you have about 60,000 thoughts every single day, which are generally a repeat of the ones you had yesterday and the ones you had the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. And so that's why your thoughts have just been continually creating the same existence. So if you ever felt stuck, that would be why, because ultimately you're thinking and then you're behaving based on your thoughts, feeling based on your thoughts, and you're doing the same stuff over and over again, creating the same experience of life. We're trying to break free of that. So we're going to take control over some of our thoughts. So yeah, you can take some time to write those affirmations, and then you're during the day, so that you don't just write the affirmations and then carry on thinking the way you've been thinking forever. Very deliberately choose to focus on the words free, fulfill, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love, wealth, success, wealth, success. Focus on those words. Focus on those words. Please do not add I am to anything, because for what I've said about the subconscious mind, don't do that. Keep it simple. You're just free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love, wealth, success. Going to the loo, say it. Driving your car, just be saying it under your breath. When I started this first, my children thought I was slightly crazy because I was mumbling away all the time. But remember, again, we are trying to shift years of programming. Please do your best to, as soon as you remember, as soon as, put a timer on your phone or whatever to remind you, what am I thinking? What am I saying right now? And say under your breath, free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love, numerous times a day, okay? Number four, no complaining. No complaining, my loves, no complaining. Do your best to not complain so much, okay? You remember what I said about how powerful your words are. So when you start to pay attention, you might notice that a lot of what you talk about is complaining about something or the other. No complaining. Do your best, particularly not about money. Okay, if you're wanting to have some kind of financial breakthrough, you cannot on one hand be claiming financial breakthrough and then on the other hand be destroying it by saying, oh, there's never enough money, can't make anything work, and no. Just no complaining. Okay, please. This is for most of my clients, it's the no complaining. Sometimes it's quite difficult because you don't realize just how much complaining you tend to do until you start paying attention. And you'll also pay attention to everybody around you, which you'll find that a lot of people spend a lot of time complaining about something. You do not want to anymore join them. Okay, no longer do you want to join them. To the best of your ability, say nothing rather than complain. Okay. So as soon as you catch yourself about to launch into some kind of complaint, figure out how you can be grateful for something instead, or be grateful for whatever it is that you're about to experience or that you're about to complain about. Okay. You find a way to turn it into, I'm thrilled. I have a coach that says to do that. I am thrilled that this is happening because when the worst is happening, I'm thrilled that this is happening because and it forces you to look for the good, which is what we need to start doing. Okay. So number 4 is no complaining. And this is another example of somebody who just had some kind of money coming from a website that she'd forgotten she even had. Okay. Number 5. Every day, Monday to Friday, there is the divine download in group. It has this image of Spirit Speaks. This image comes up. Please, Monday to Friday, usually be there before most of y'all wake up. Okay, unless you are in the UK and you wake up before 5:30, basically, in which case it will not be there until about 5:30 or even later, depending on when I've written it. But I generally what I do is sit with the divine and download a message for the community, for the whole gathering, and deliver that into the group every morning, Monday to Friday. What I want you to do is read that divine download. It is number 4 in the daily ritual that I put into the group with that image. Only number 4. Do not do anything else with the rest. Just number 4. Just number 4. Okay. Number 4, read it. It'll take you less than 2 minutes. And then with your journal, sit down and just think about, ask the divine, more to the point, how is this relevant to me? And then just make any note of anything that bubbles up, anything that comes up inside of you, write it down. So you're just looking for this image Monday to Friday. And in the Facebook group, okay, in the Facebook group, Monday to Friday, looking for this image. Read number 4, which is the divine download. It is because it's a list. So you're looking for number 4 on the list. It's the divine download. Read it. And then ask the divine how it's relevant to you. So write down what you hear, what you perceive, what you feel. That's number 5. Okay. This is part of you deepening your connection to the divine, taking time to sit with the divine. It needs to take no more than 7 minutes. I like to say 2 minutes to read it, 5 minutes to write down whatever comes up for you. Whatever comes up for you. Now, if you're not sure whether you're hearing back from the divine or whatever, bring it into group. Whatever came up for you, bring it into group, and I can sit down with it as well and say, hey, yeah, that sounds like it's the divine. Okay. And go from there. So that's number 5. Number 6 is every evening, Monday to Friday, I too put in my gratitudes in the group. I've made a commitment to do that. Just kind of, one, because I want to make sure that I am coming into the group every day to connect with everyone. But also because I want to, I just want to remind you to look for the good all day, every day. So part of our 7 steps is that you are looking for things to be grateful for in the day that has just gone, okay? Or the day that is about to end, depending on what time it is for you. So come in every evening and do your gratitudes. There will usually be a reminder email sent out. Once I've put mine in there, I generally tend to link to that post and send an email out reminding people to bring their gratitudes in. And I would say you do not have to wait until I've done it, especially Saturday and Sunday. I might not put anything in group, but you still can. In fact, you still must, okay? Because you're doing this 14-day thing and it doesn't take a break at the weekend, okay? So continue doing it. So do your gratitudes. You can write them, most of them down in your journal or whatever, and then just share a few with us if you'd like to. Share a few, share 1, share 3, share whatever. Share with us what's going on. Okay, that also links you with other members in the group as well, because I want to know you, I want to see you. The lurking thing doesn't work. Okay, it really doesn't. So please don't just lurk. Show up, share what's going on with you, and share your gratitudes every evening. That's number 6. Okay, that was somebody that got a new yoga studio during the 7-day thing. So yeah, that was hers. Free, fulfilled, abundant love is rolling off my tongue. Okay, so that was definitely a week of miracles. So that was during the 7-day thing. And then number 7, it used to just say, just do it, but I'll give you a bonus action. Get some notes, some actual money notes, your currency, whatever country you're in, your currency, and lift it up to your face and smell it. And when you're smelling it, say, I am at one with a heck of a lot of money. I am at one with a heck of a lot of money, or I am at one with an awesome amount of money. Basically, say it with gusto. Say it with, I am at one with an amazing amount of money. Okay? So smell it and and say, I am at one with a heck of a lot of money. You can write that down, okay? So that is your bonus action number 7. I am at one with an amazing amount of money. See it, feel it as you're smelling in the money, smelling it, smelling it, smelling it. So you're using your smelling senses as well, okay, as well as your writing, as well as your speaking. You're now also using your smelling and your feeling by being enthusiastic when you say, I'm at one with an awesome amount of money, okay, because you are. Anyway, you are. That's the truth of it. But we don't always see it, but you're now declaring it, and it is absolutely the truth, okay? Okay, so that's number 7, and that's the 7 steps. Did everybody capture everything? I hope so. If there's anything, of course, that you want me to repeat, you're going to need to say that in the comments. That would be cool. But that is the 7 steps. That is the 7 steps that you need to do over the 14 days. Okay. Yeah. Now, what I would like you to do, now that you've heard the 7 steps, you know how straightforward it is. It isn't that complicated. It isn't that hard to do. Are you making a commitment that you will do it? If you are, just write down in your notebook or on the chat, I will do it. That's all. As a commitment to yourself, because it's not to me. Yes, I will agree it with you if you put it in the chat. But are you deliberately choosing that you will do these 7 things for 14 days? Like, even if you drop off the wagon, you will get back on and start from the start again and do 14 days straight of this. Will you do this? Can you put that in the chat? Can you put in your notebook? I will do this. I will do this. As I say, it's a commitment to you. Yes, good. I will do it. I will do it. Make a written commitment to yourself. I will do it. Now, what I can say is, come on, guys. Yeah, excellent, excellent. I want to see more. Yeah, come on, more of you. But yes, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Amanda. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, as a result of this commitment, though, let me tell you this. The inner demons will come up, okay? So the inner doubts and fears and what I like to call the noise, the nonsense, and the drama will come up because you're making a commitment to change things. And as I said, the subconscious mind needs to be retrained because it wants to keep you safe and it thinks safety is staying the same, stay in your comfort zone. But what you're looking for is not in your comfort zone, or else you'd already found it. Okay. So when the demons come up, the temptation is that you will hide away and somehow either tell yourself that, oh, none of these things ever work for me, as if you're some kind of exception to the rule. It's like somebody saying, oh, gravity doesn't work for me. Yes, it does. Basically, or electricity doesn't work for me. Yes, it does. And this is the law of attraction, the law of creation, all of that. These are universal laws, okay? They work for everyone. So you'll be tempted to kind of draw back in yourself thinking, oh, here we go, another one of those things that never seems to work for me. Blah, 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 blah. Please, and then you'll retreat. Don't be the lone wolf. You've already done this whole facade thing where everything is fine, everything is perfect. And then you're going through life, trying to appear as if you have it all together and nobody really knows you and you're hiding away. Don't do it. It's not working. If it could have worked, it would already have worked. Okay. So don't be the lone wolf. Come into the group, share what's going on. Okay. Let that be one place where I don't want you complaining and moaning and groaning, but I do want you being real. This is what is happening. This is how I'm feeling. I will speak into it. I will help you see things differently. I'll speak into it. So come into groups, share how you're feeling, share what persistent thoughts seem to be blocking you, share what's going on. Do not be the lone wolf. Even sometimes just the process of you sharing what's going on will help you to actually see things a lot differently. Okay, so share what's going on. It hasn't served you to be the lone wolf. Now, that's one option. The other option is if you feel as if you could do with some greater support or whatever, then let's have a personal conversation. We can come and do this whole clarity session with me. Okay, it's actually 25 minutes. I'm not sure why that says 60, but I can help you see things differently. Whether you do it in group, whether you do it personally, don't be the lone wolf. Okay, personal support is available. What we do in those sessions ultimately is that you get clear on what it is that you want. We look at what is blocking you. We heal anything that needs to heal. We reconnect you with the power, as in with the divine ultimately. And I'll give you a next step to move you forward. Okay. And it is a safe space for you to just feel seen and to feel supported. So if necessary, use that. At the moment, what I'm doing, because usually my sessions are like 497, my private clients pay a heck of a lot more. But what I'm trying to do here is make it accessible to anyone. So it's $22.22, okay? $22.22, which I believe for most people is accessible. But even if you feel this is not accessible, come into group then. It's okay. Come into group. You do not have to get a private session. It's an option, okay? But come into group. Do not do this whole lone wolf thing. Don't do the lone wolf thing, okay? The lone wolf thing is not helpful. So you will, as part of your daily, what's it called, the daily reminder, which you will get in emails. Please, guys, make sure you've added me to your contacts or whatever, because if not, the emails might end up in spam or promotions folder or bulk folder or trash or spam, whatever. I don't know what each email thing has different names for these things. You need to actually search for my name, Rosemary Nonny Knight, and find out and add me to your contacts or something so that it's not being dispersed into random folders in your email. So you get those daily reminders. And because the daily reminders come with training, as well as the 7 steps, as well as telling you how you can book a session if you would like one. Okay. So please make sure, because those, the way I've designed this 14-day thing and the simple little training bits at the beginning will really help, as well as you doing the 7 steps. Okay. And the 7 steps, so it'll break down what you need to do day 1 to 4 and 5 to 14, blah, blah, blah. It will all come. And because this evening, you'll probably get day 1. So I would say to you, either start your day 1 this evening as soon as we finish here, or start it first thing in the morning. I personally love to do things when I'm connecting with the divine on a very deliberate basis, because I generally talk to the divine all day long anyway. But I like to have a quiet time first thing in the morning, so I set up the day right. Okay. For some of you, you might prefer to do it last thing in the evening because you're not really, you don't want to wake up earlier. But whatever you do, decide what it's going to be. Either you're doing it just last thing at night before you go to bed, setting up the next day, or you're waking up half an hour earlier, just to do all of this stuff. Okay. Please set a timer, set an alarm so that you are committed for the 14 days at least. But remember, this is a lifestyle change. It's not just a 14 days and then go back to doing things the old way. It didn't get you anywhere before. It's not going to get you anywhere now. 14 days and then stick around in abundance and carry on with the Deliberate Millionaire daily ritual in that period of time that you're now getting into the habit of doing. Okay. So yes, you will get the whole checklist and the recording of this sometime later on today. Watch out for it. If you do not see it in your emails, because I'll put in group that it's been sent out. If you're not seeing your emails, it's because it's in some kind of weird inbox somewhere, or you're doing this for the second time or whatever, and you need to tell me to put your email on it. Okay. So make sure you message me and with your email address. If you do not have, after checking all the various different folders in your email thing, if you do not have the email from me, then send me a message so that I can add your email to it so that you get the whole 14-day thing. But remember this, the 7 steps that I've shown you or talked you through, it's enough. It's enough. Please do not add anything to it. Please do not add anything to it. Do all of it, but keep it that simple. Keep it simple, my loves. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Do not complicate it. Okay. Okay. And so that is us. That is us for this 14-day thing. Such a pleasure having you guys here with me. Are you ready? You said yes. You said you're going to do it. So woo! For all of y'all that were silent, please let this not be a sign of how things are going to carry on. Be present. Come into the group. Take part. Okay. You're so welcome, Wendy. You're so welcome. So welcome. It's such a pleasure sharing this stuff with you. And I really want to see you guys having breakthroughs. But as I said, I can't win it more than you do. So show up for this 14 days and beyond. Let's build a community together. You will get the most out of it if you take advantage of all of it. Okay. So go and introduce yourselves in groups if you have not done so we get to know who you are. And commit. You've already committed, please God. Even for the ones that didn't type it out, I'm sure you've made an internal commitment that you're going to be here. You're going to take part, and good. I want to see you in group then. Okay, then I'm going to leave it at that for right now. Much love. Go forth and prosper because you're meant to. If you will allow it, absolutely you will. I'm looking forward to playing to these daily. I'm looking forward to seeing how you get, what tangible breakthrough you get as well. So keep coming to share your gratitudes and keep coming to share whatever is going on with you. I want to know what's going on. Until the next time, my lovelies, go forth and prosper. Such a pleasure doing this stuff with you, and I can't wait to see your breakthroughs. Much amazing love. Bye.